Welcome. I'm delighted to be here together with Rabbi Avraham Rosenblum and to share with you some of the biblical insights that reveal how the world really works. And what's so wonderful about this special opportunity that I enjoy is that we're going to focus not only on the substance, but also upon the soul. You will hear the sounds of ancient Jewish wisdom as well as the words. Thank you for joining us.
Rabbi, it's great to be back with you once again, and it's always interesting. And the Torah tidbits that you bring up every week are just so exciting. What's this week's?
Well, thank you very much indeed, Avram, and it's a lot of fun doing this with you. I want to tell you, I really look forward to the chance of these. And we're talking about the fact that in Lashon HaKodesh, in the Lord's language, there is no word for fair, because there just isn't such a thing. The world is how it is. It's how God created it. And we're going to talk about something that on the surface of it sure looks unfair. You know, I'll never forget when I first immigrated to the United States of America, I was invited to play in a softball game, a baseball game. Now, you've got to remember that where I grew up, we played cricket, not softball, not baseball. Now, cricket is marginally more exciting than watching grass grow. And so I was certainly excited to be introduced to this incredible American game of baseball, but I assured the people that I didn't have the faintest idea. I'd never played before. Oh, it was easy, they said. Don't worry about it. Just stand there. And they put in my hand a club. And they said, just stand there. Next thing I know, somebody is standing on a hill hurtling projectiles at me, and this ball comes flying at me. I put up the club to protect myself. The next thing I know is there's a resounding crack. It hits the club, bounces off somewhere. I'm in a state of total shock. Everybody shouts, run, run, run. What do you mean run? No, the other way, the other way. And then somebody yelled, drop the bat, drop the bat. Okay, this was a disaster. It was a complete disaster. And that experience was not a total waste. It was humiliating and mortifying, but it did teach me a very important lesson. And that is that when you're playing any game, it really helps to know the rules, even if you don't like them. But if those are the rules the game's being played by, you really want to know them. And nowhere is this more true than in the game of life. You have to know the rules. And there are aspects of the rules that you may not like. But it really does a lot more if you learn the rules than if you shake a defiant fist attempting to change them. That isn't going to happen. I'll give you an example. Look, it just plain isn't fair that women pretty much lose the opportunity to give birth at a certain age. And it's kind of in the middle of life there, it's shocking. You've got to wonder, what is God thinking? With men, the capacity to reproduce extends way on often into old age. I mean, that doesn't seem fair, does it? Of course not. But it is how the good Lord created the world in which we live. And one of the ways that God chooses to convey these vital insights that we need to implement in our lives is in God's message to mankind, which he gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. And I want to give you some examples. Now, a lot of that also has to do with the Hebrew language. The Lord's language is absolutely unique, and there's certain things you have to know. Now, I know you're not familiar with Hebrew, and that's okay. We'll get to that. But right now, all you've got to know is listen to how feminine nouns are made in Hebrew, because part of the precision of Hebrew is that every noun has a masculine and a feminine form, and so you can tell what is going on, and we gain certain pieces of insight. So for instance, there's a certain time, and I'll talk about it on another show, where a woman is behaving in an unfeminine-like manner. And at that point, the noun referring to her is in the masculine form rather than the feminine. Wow! So that tells us something important. Well, here is what feminine nouns sound like. They all end with the word ah. So a little boy is yeled, girl, yalda. A bull is par. A cow, para. A man, ish. A woman, isha. Got the idea? Young man, bachur. Now, you could be able to tell me quite easily, if young man is bachur and you now know the rule, what's a young woman? Bachura. You're exactly right. And sure enough, in modern Hebrew, in Israel today, you'll often find people saying, where is the young woman? Eifo bachura. Where's the woman? Where is she? The word is used. But nowhere in the Bible is that word bachura is used. It's weird. Let me give you some quick examples. One of the fascinating ones is in Isaiah chapter 62, and the verse is number 5. As a young man takes a maiden in marriage, should be as a young man takes a young woman in marriage, right? And it says, ki yival bachur, it should now say bachura. Doesn't. It says betula. Betula is sometimes meant as a virgin, sometimes as a young woman. But one thing is clear is the word bachura missing. It's not there. Exactly the same thing is found in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 22. Though through you I smashed man and woman, and through you I smashed elder and youth, through you I smashed young man and young woman. Bachur, but not bachura. Betula. And so it is in Chronicles, and so it is in Ezekiel. Again and again, there are no exceptions to this rule. Why is that? Well, in Hebrew, there's a very important principle, and that is whenever a word has two meanings, those two meanings are linked. Now, in English, this isn't true, right? The sole of my foot has nothing to do with a certain type of fish I enjoy with chips called sole. Nothing to do with one another. But in Hebrew, that word bachur means young man. It also means to choose. And we say, God who chose us, Asher Bachar Banu. That's that same word, bachur. And what's the point? The point, my friends, is shocking, disturbing, unfair, but it is how the world really works. And that is, young men have far more choices in life than young women. Don't believe me? Just check out that young woman sitting at home on Saturday night waiting for the phone to ring. If the man wants to go out on a Saturday night, he picks up the phone and he'll probably, unless he's just downright unsanitary, he'll probably find somebody to go out with him. The woman has to wait for the phone to ring. Don't believe me? How many marriages do you know where the woman proposed marriage to the man? It's very rare, very seldom. Most of us guys, we tend to run the other way when a woman proposes marriage to us. It bothers, doesn't work. The choice is in the hands of the man in many of these cases. And we've just got to recognize that and understand that a woman has additional powers. And I'll talk about that on another show. But for right now, what we have to understand is that a young man is at a point of his life of vital and important choices. And making them wisely is a key to a long, happy, and successful life. That's how the world really works.
That was really great. I mean, I didn't expect to hear things like that.
Well, it enlightens us, and when we start seeing things through God's eyes, we have a better chance of making a success of our lives. Mm-hmm. And I think what's so important, I always say this, Aram, is that understanding these things in our head is one thing, but the toughest journey is to move it from the head to the heart. It's only a few inches.
That's true.
But for that, we need music. And for that, I turn to you.
Well, I try to please. I'd like to do a little song taken from Proverbs 31. It's a little song I sing to my wife every Friday night at the beginning of Shabbat. She deserves a song of her own. Yes, she does. A simple song from the heart, just because a woman's love is true, and she'll give it all to you. Just promise her you'll always play it smart. אשתך יומי ימצא מרחוק מפנימי מכרע פתח בו לבנו ושלום ושלום לא יחסר. Deserves a song of her own. Yes, she does. A simple song from the heart, just because. Yes, a woman's love is true, and she'll give it all to you. So promise her you'll always play it smart, and sing it straight from the heart. Straight from the heart. Hope you like that.
Avraham, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And that's exactly what is so important, because we are created by God with not just a head, but a heart. Not just a heart, but a head. Those two working together is what makes everything happen. And that's really at the essence of what we try and do here on this show. And that's why it is that we've been sharing with you some of the important things that everybody needs to understand to improve their lives and to make effective in their lives. And you doing that brings great satisfaction both to Avram and myself.
This is my latest book, Business Secrets from the Bible, Spiritual Strategies for Financial Abundance. Are the secrets that have brought my people disproportionate business success only for Jews? No, of course not. Encoded in the Bible are vast numbers of tips, tools, and techniques for making money that we Jews have successfully used for centuries. And now they are all condensed into 40 spiritual strategies for financial abundance that you and all those you love can immediately put to use in your life.
Thank you for investing your time with us today and for giving us the opportunity to share with you 3,000 years of ancient Jewish wisdom, presented in a way that we hope will enhance your life, enhance your faith, enhance your family, your friendships, and yes, even your finances. Thanks for being part of this. Make sure you see the next show, and also please visit our website, www.rabbidaniellapin.com.